All right, folks, I have no idea what I'm in for here. Welcome back to Spyro the Dragon. Surely it can't be as hard as Treetops was. This guy looks a little bit like Beaker, but with a huge torso. Oh, yeah. These enemies are enjoying themselves. Ooh, I see. So there's a cannon in the middle, I guess, that shoots the size modulation magic. Interesting. Yep, wide Beaker, good old... Not the weirdest thing that's ever happened to Beaker, right? I mean, we all remember the copy machine. And here we've got Haunted Tower, which is the first of several of our level options here. Alright, so that dude doesn't have any treasure for us, which is probably fine. Alright, what's up with the Dagrons today?
The fools
Ooh, quite a beard.
Are invincible, but that does not mean they shouldn't be attacked.
Sounds all right to
Rather
me.
than Haunted Hall. Yeah, we don't have Cackle's impressive laugh to go with, but you know, maybe there'll be some also quite good evil laughter. Who can tell? How you doing, Lears? Only a few minutes. Well, you just barely missed us starting on the beginning of the homeworld here. I did see the thing you posted on Discord, by the way, Mark. So my response to that, oh hi, Dark Passage, is that, and I think I posted about this on Blue Sky, so there is a post about it on a social media website that's not the terrible one, is that I saw something kind of similar happen where there was a distinctly time displaced music video. It was clearly something quite recent for the song Lady in Black by Uriah Heep, which is of course from 1969. And thank you for popping another window on top of the game there, Steam. That was very weird. Yeah, Blue Sky is not necessarily the most imaginative. Blue Sky is basically the replacement for Twitter, sort of. I mean, Twitter's not gone, unfortunately. And there's Jacques, who's our boss for the world. What's his last name? Strap? Block Jacques Chalac. I might be the only one who remembers any of the Bugs Bunny cartoons that had that guy. Yeah, so Blue Sky is kind of like, well, I have a feeling that Blue Sky is basically just using like a Mastodon core. So it appears to be made and operated by people who originally worked at Twitter before that one dude took over that I'm not going to mention to avoid firestorms, because I have my opinions, and let's just say he's a very divisive individual. Liz, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm actually not very familiar with Mastodon the band, so I can't actually tell you a whole lot there. So, unfortunately, I cannot complete the joke today. Well, yeah, I don't suspect that people here would get mad at my opinions about Elon Musk. I'll just say it. Everybody knows it's fucking Elon Musk. But, you know, people with bad taste exist everywhere. What can I say? Now, this is a little bit, hey, I just want to hit both the guys here. Granted, I'm not necessarily the best person to talk about taste or anything, so yeah. Elon Shitberg. Yep, Lears is saying what many of us think. This entire yard. I gotta read this whole thing. Fire breaks out. He gets startled. Twist the angle and burst. Fuck. God, that's a whole bit from eons ago, Lears. Man, oh man. Oh Jesus. Oh, that hurt me a little bit to read, Roundy. Hang on a second. I gotta land here so I can read this. Yeah, the Dreamweaver's hub music is great. You just read that Elon is arguing his ketamine use is in the best interest. Jeez, oh man. Oh yeah, I need to be high as shit so that way my companies can operate properly. Oh boy, I feel like that's one way to admit that you're not good for the company, but not necessarily the best way to do it. I'm to die JoJo style. That's...
Welcome to the Dreamweavers, young one.
I mean, that's not necessarily too far off. In this case, so Lears is quoting a bit from Brysolf, who is a Let's Player streamer that we both like and are friends with. So I think it was something that he did himself, and it was just like an absolutely ridiculous level of like, oh, this guy should die in a tire fire, and he just went off on this fucking rant. And it was pretty impressive. Did I notice the invisible wall? I don't think I did. Which would perhaps stand to reason it is invisible. Now, I haven't dealt with any of the fools over here. Okay, I see what I see what you're doing here. They're not gonna let me do this in one jump. They also don't want me to do it in one try, I see. It might be smarter if I had these guys broken up a little bit. Just to make it easier. Oh, what was the... Okay, I see what's going on there. I was like, that seems like a bit of a weird camera glitch. Oh, so is that just a... There's gotta be something going on here. Is this literally just, hey, you get these things that were added for the collection? Where... And I know that they have a purpose in the collection. Jeez, that's a hard jump. All right. One of these days, I'll figure out like a real thing to do with the points, but until then, I don't 100% know what to even do with that kind of stuff, other than like set up. Yes, the skill points are newly added to the remaster. Oh God, sorry, I just accidentally punched the mic. As far as I can tell, they increase the amount of those little orbs that give you one-ups that you start with at the beginning of something. Well, Lears, I would not know about that so much because I've never played the... Okay, so just do things the easy way. There I was trying to follow the rules. And the game's like, no, just skip around the whole thing, you goofball. And that's what I get for not thinking of that sooner. Here's Icy Flight? Icy Flight, yeah. I could have sworn we did a cold-themed flight earlier, but I am le forgetful. Now I'm missing what? 16 treasure? Now thankfully I actually know how to navigate this area reasonably well now, so I can come back to that later. Unfortunately there's still the dexterity issue, but whatever. Immaculate for thank you. The last time I spoke French, I would probably have been like just barely 14 or something. The grill? What the hell is that? Did I miss an enemy? I think I saw. No, that's one of the mushrooms that you can turn into bugs hopping around. That updraft. Does that go somewhere I haven't been? It probably does. You saw blue gems. Well, I'm blind, so I may have missed them. Oh, are you talking about the platform? No, you're not talking about the platforms. I like to think I'm funny. Ah, I see a couple that I missed here. So that puts me at 13, which is almost an even more awkward number. And by almost, I mean definitely. So I'm going to imagine that like this slightly tall grass is probably fucking me up a little bit. Because it would. I think they made this grass deeper compared to the original. Mojo Jojo. Yeah. God, that reminds me, I need to go back and watch the rest of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Actually, also speaking of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that also reminds me I should see about picking up the fighting game again, because I have that on PS3. I have multiple JoJo fighting games on PS3. I also have Eyes of Heaven on PS4, but I'm talking about the old, like, late 90s, early 2000s one. They released a remaster of that several years ago on PS3. And I would assume that the general consensus is like, oh, well, I really wish they hadn't made it 16:9, which, okay, sure, whatever. What'd you expect, though? But it seems like it's pretty fun. You know, classic sort of 90s 2D fighter. How new are these? Okay, so I'm gonna go back to around here and see what you were talking about, if I can. Ooh, okay, so I see some that are over by Haunted Hall. 16. Oh yeah, I remember having a couple of things that had 16:10 screens and trying to find wallpapers, and all of them looked a little bit off, and I didn't realize it because they were like some reasonably unusual number of width, like the 1378 or something, I think is the one I'm thinking of. Ah, there's our last red gems. Ooh, boy, I apologize. That's embarrassing. I need a second pair of glasses to go on top of my regular glasses. So we're going into Haunted Towers first, just because it's closer. Well, I mean, yes, bifocals are a thing that exists, but I'm talking about, like, wearing a second pair of glasses on top of... oh, do I gotta get... yes, that is true. I guess it would... I suppose it would help in that case. Okay, so we got big armored dudes. I'm assuming that this is going to be a place where we get the super breath. There's a place like that in this world, but I don't remember where. Ooh. Oh, is it literally right here? Well, nice and easy. I'm assuming that this is... because this seems familiar, that this is a level where I need to use that in one place and I need to absolutely race to get to somewhere to put it to use. Oh, does this one have... Oh boy, well, I'm glad that I'm doing the toxic level first then. Treetops made me upset. Toxic Tower, I mean, it is called the Haunted Towers, so it is fitting to make that reference, Lears. Oh yeah, I forgot about the one that was a corpse earlier. So I gotta go back and do that, right? You're nothing if not references. Well, you know what, Lears? I find them funny. Yeah, I was literally just thinking about that, Mark. As soon as I went over there, I was like, oh yeah, there's a pile of stuff that I can go get at the beginning. You're there, it's dopamine drive, and your car is stuck on cruise control. Alright, let's just burninate as much of the countryside as... Oh. Well... I suppose I'm not cut out to be a Trogdor, alright? My arms aren't particularly beefy, so... Anyway, Roundy, that sounds like it's going to really piss me off, so... I'm looking forward to that. Maybe this time I'll be better at it. Answer, probably not. Okay, so I gotta keep carrying the spicy breath.
Hey, Spyro. All dragons know there's magic in a fairy's kiss. See what it can do to your power of flame.
Oh, we already know about that, friendo. I do enjoy sometimes on like a vague humor level of like getting advice well after you're supposed to. Like, I haven't played any of the Donkey Kong Country games in a while, but I seem to recall that one of the last hints that you can get from Cranky Kong in DKC 1 is something about the first level. And it's also like really hilariously obvious too. Ooh, we got quite close there. I'm gonna clean up some more stuff before I... Okay, I was gonna say, is there another fairy? There sure is. That will improve my life significantly. However, Me accidentally whacking my hand into the microphone will not. Yeah, shock mount doesn't do anything for you when you when you're accidentally clobbering the fucking mic. Clearly, I need something that's like not so easy to do that with. Burning that wizard hat at the top of this building. Gotcha. Did I miss treasure? I did. Yeah, I know, right, Lears? Ooh, I see the old path to exile right here. Obviously, we're gonna take a couple of whacks at this to chip away at all the stuff that needs to be done every time. Ah, crud. It helps if I actually move the stick properly. I gotta squint a little more to understand, know for sure, but it's got a little bit of that vibe. It's not entirely off from what you're suggesting, so all I know is my gut says maybe. Ah, good old beige alert. I slam.
Here comes Spyro.
Patience, little one. You'll soon have the opportunity to battle the one who matters most. Nasty Nork.
I like the star pattern on that fella's wings. Our old buddy Ganasty Gnork. And by old buddy, I mean I'm pretty sure he's only a villain in this game. In fact, I'm trying to think if any Spyro games like repeat major villains. I don't remember who's in Spyro 3, for example. What was it? Enter the Dragonfly? The one on PS2 that's infamous for being really buggy because they were under a really gross amount of pressure. Has Ripto returned for some reason. And I remember someone going off on a really confused tear of like, why would you do that? Meanwhile, I'm just thinking, hey, platformer series from this era that have like serious plot continuity. I'm sure they were thinking about that at any point. Well, I shouldn't mock too much. All right, well, thankfully they are giving us quite a few of the Purple Fairy in a lot of these in this area, so that way we don't have to just absolutely hustle to get to. Wow, what a jerk! Wow, what a double jerk! There's our return home vortex, and everything is clear here, I believe. Probably go back and refill our health. And what are we missing so far? We're missing 1 dragon and 127 treasure. I don't like when I'm missing odd numbers of things unless they're multiples of 5. Because otherwise that feels like something is messed up. Okay, so I seem to recall only having seen the 1 Supercharge ramp, unless I've just like missed a huge block of this level. Okay, I hear the dragon statue noise. You see, coming out this way doesn't seem like it's the most option. Oh, there's that landmass over. Give me just a second. I'm gonna go look at some stuff. Okay, because this is not where the dragon. No, this is the start. I'm sorry. The maps are, as you can tell, they are very basic. So sometimes I'm just around here like, there's no legend. I don't remember where the hell I started. Only the one. I have to glide around the corner blindly. Ew. Ew. Well, let's see if I can make that a little bit less blind by trying to see if I can figure out where I've gotta. All right, so I go to the left, right? No, I shouldn't say right. I mean correct. Sorry, I wait, no, that doesn't look like the. That looks like somewhere I've been. Sorry. I'm gonna scout around on foot, basically. And then we're gonna come back to that, and there's probably gonna be a lot of me going, fuck. Okay, no, that landmass looks new. That's the exit. Okay, because what we just saw is not that. Yeah, so we've got to get to over here. We got to go back to the ramp, and we've got to charge down, loop back around, and then super glide out to the left. Assuming I have that correct. Oh. Unfortunately, you charge too fast for me to, like, wrap around the walls. And that time, I simply did not turn hard enough because I think I ended up hitting this, pushing down the stick. This really is just like, hey, find the widest area you can, which is basically going to be like as soon as we get through the threshold, at best, I think. Because we don't have enough time, I don't think, to swerve right here in order to start looping to the left. This, I need to turn in a more open area. Yes, hang on a second. Let me go back to my scouting ahead here. All right, charge. No, don't go up there. That's the stairs. Okay. So, would I be able to loop here? Okay, so if I can hold the charge that long, which I also don't particularly like, but it seems like it might be our best option, is to go up to that pond, and hopefully we are still able to turn tightly enough there. Oh my god, no we aren't. No? Jeez. Shit. This is brutal. This is some mean-ass design. I kind of understand, but also, like, just, And once again, for the people in the back, actually, I'm not going to do it again. Never mind. I'll save it for later. Actually, can we reset our checkpoint? That ought to help us. Is that where I did? But the ramp is a different one. No? Yeah, because this... I guess once we start, like, really supercharging, we're just going too fast for us to be able to bend like that. Which... Alright, I suppose. But also... Well... Just imagine me making progressively more exhausted and upset sounds, and damn it. Should I try jumping off to the left when I go to that area? Where's the whirlwind? I mean, frankly, I'm pretty much okay with whatever you feel like doing there, Roundy. I don't have a no backseating tag on my thing for a good reason, and that good reason is games like this, because otherwise I would have no idea how I would do that. I'm not that smart. At least not without, like, sitting there for an hour. Frankly, the only reason why I was able to get through Lemmings in, like, one stream is because I know most of those levels really well. Okay, so now I'm assuming that what I want to do is I got to find another purple fairy, and I'm going to have to hustle, right? Can I get past the... Well, I could get past the armors if I didn't fall off the damn thing. Ow. Well, I am feeling a little bit hoarse after some of the... I'm gonna get absolutely murked by this section here. Yeah, that feels like it shouldn't have hit, but then again, that's mostly because the helmet stopped at the level of where the floor was. That's alright. I needed a reset on that anyway, because... Yeah, too many of them were up on their... feet? Question mark. To make that really doable. And we're still gonna have a bad time going through here. Whatever. Get out of my damn way, dude. He's not gonna get out of my damn way, is he? I have to... Well, yes, I was assuming that there was a purple fairy I could get to up here to charge up my super flame. And I mean, there's this hole in the floor, which will lead me back to an area where I could, but I don't know if I can get back here easily. And there's no, like, obvious whirlwind or anything right now, which, I mean, if it was going to show up, it would show up afterwards, but... I just don't know that I like the idea of doing another one. I mean, obviously, the trick is just go faster, knucklehead, but... Alright, can we leave this area and let them go back to sleep? Because otherwise I don't want to waste another life trying to get up there. To my left when I enter. Is it really that easy? Crud. That wasn't such a smart idea. Reset. Only because I'm assuming that by there you do... Am I seriously, like, no eyesight? Back in here. The left. Yeah, that's... Yeah, that's what I was like, wait a second. And then this one just turns around too fast for me to... If I get up here too slow, which... It's very easy to bonk. Again, I'm operating under the assumption that the purple fairy is behind the door that's over there. And yeah, we bonked, so this one's in need of a reset again. I am extremely uncoordinated on top of the fact that I get that whole square button lead finger thing going on here. Thankfully, I don't think the lead poisoning has spread to the rest of my body yet, but that was still pretty bad. And see, ordinarily I would be like, this can't be it, but I mean, this game has asked me for some pretty precise stuff before, so... I mean, I would assume so. I could at this point just, like, go look it up on YouTube. I mean, it's not like I haven't looked things up for this already. Just a sec, everybody. Okay, no, it is actually up there. All right, so I've got to not... I guess got to not screw that up. Excellent. Well, I'll see you guys after we're done doing this for 3 hours. The actually hard part of things. Yeah, hi. I used to... Thank you, SpongeBob narrator. I did indeed have Phyresis Gaming as an old username. Ultimately, a big part of why I decided to cut it out had mostly to do with the fact that I was like, I don't know how I feel about having it say gaming. But yeah, that's how Lears and a couple of the other old farts who have known me for... Jesus Lord, how long has it been? I want to say that I first started watching Round the Wheel over 10 years ago, actually, because the first thing that I remember seeing from old Roundy was the second episode of the Oh No More Lemmings playthrough. Ah! Fuck. We got it. Okay. I was about to be very, very sad because well, you saw what happened, so I don't really need to further explain. Yeah, I played a couple of Lemmings games on stream back in the way back in the before times when I... Do you really want me to bring back Lemmings? What kind of a... thanks again there, Spyro. And again, thanks for giving me an achievement for trying to get 100% of the main games. I mean... self-identifying as a gamer. Yeah, I know. It definitely was, it was not my greatest choice, I'll say that. And especially, eventually, you know, obviously the idea became even worse because a lot of the people who were like, oh, I'm a gamer, have turned into, people you don't want. Oh, right, let me make sure I get that chest before I leave, otherwise I'm gonna feel real stupid. I mean, I probably already do a little bit, but boy, oh boy, let me tell you, it'll be next level if I forget that. Let's heal up. Anywho, something cheap on Steam during the sale. I mean, I should actually go look at my Steam wishlist again because there's some stuff on there that's a little bit cheap. I would say... So I can't weigh in on Makai Kingdom or any of the La Pucelle games. I don't really know a whole lot of NIS stuff that well. I'm pretty sure those are Nipponichi software games. I can't weigh in on those, but I can say that Legend of Mana is a good game. The remaster is quite solid, actually, all considered. The PC one. I thought it was good. I thought it was better than the Chrono Cross remaster was on launch. That's for sure. But that's a whole other story. Apparently the Chrono Cross remaster is a little bit more stable now, but I haven't actually played it to see, so... I don't know, I like Legend of Mana, but, you know, it could just be me. Different things for different things, I guess. Legend of Mana is a good idea. That's a nice way to put it. It could have been executed better. That absolutely is the case. But to be fair, the 5th gen was very much a time of great experimentation for, like, every game company. You know, 3D was the order of the day, and obviously that doesn't apply to Legend of Mana so much, but everyone just kind of went buck wild and was doing something that was kind of interesting. Or was looking for something interesting to do. So even the 2D games are kind of interesting out there. It's a spin-off game and it shows... fair enough. Dark Passage. I want to go do the flight level now, just because... Well, flight levels are... an interesting thing. They can either be your worst nightmare, or we can complete them in 3 tries or less, which is what we've been doing with all of them. What am I get? Don't. Don't be that person, please. I don't want to be too much like, oh, I gotta defend the Pocket Man company because, I mean, they absolutely are screwing up. But I'll say this, is that I think that Pal World doesn't really satisfy the same sort of thing as Pokemon anyway. Pal World is like, I don't want to be, who am I kidding? I will be as mean as a fucking thing that's really, really mean. I'm sorry, I couldn't figure out what I was going to say about that, but Pal World kind of strikes me as like the sort of thing that's made for people who have just discovered Cards Against Humanity and they think it makes them cool. And they're looking at all these things from their youth, such as Pokemon, and they're going into like this sort of edgelord, like, oh, but what if it was awful kind of phase. And I get why you would be like that. I think that a lot of teenagers just have that in general. I probably had some quite shameful opinions about a lot of stuff that I liked when I was a kid, when I became a teenager. Because I thought, oh, I'm mature, I've got to make a clean break with my... No, you actually should do the opposite of that. But, you know, just conceptually, I'm sure the gameplay is like, you know, for... If you like games like Ark, I'm sure that it's okay for what it is. But that isn't particularly my bag, to be fair. People just mad that the other guy's Pokemon ROM hack is 3D. That's very funny, actually, though, as a response. See, to me, I feel like also the what if Pokemon but everything was awful is something that the Pokemon company already kind of did themselves in a, you know, with a reasonable amount of quality. And it was called Coliseum / Pokemon Extra Dimension. I really wish they had done more Pokemon Extra Dimension series, so, you know, I will say that is one thing I wish there was more of. Sorry, I'm scrolling up the chat. I should probably pause the game so that way I can actually read, because I missed conversation and I want to see what you all were saying, because I value people here. All right, only one hard recommendation. I'll see what that says in a minute. Yeah, Roundy's saying you can never pay for trials, aka Seiken Densetsu 3. I don't blame you for that. Some designs are blatant ripoffs, but that's about it. Yeah, I believe it was disproven as regards Pal World that the models were like, 3D traced or whatever the fuck. Because, I mean, yeah, the inspiration is quite obvious and some of the designs are very close, but it seems like a lot of the early accusations were slightly overblown regarding that. It's still not my bag to begin with, so it's fun enough one time as you explore the world and stuff, but after that it wears off extra fast and has minimal replayability. That sounds like an open world survival game to me. Too much money even with the sale. Yeah, it sounds about right. People just mad that the other guy's Pokemon ROM hack is 3D is actually a very, very funny sentiment. Lears, yeah, I vaguely remember your essay you wrote for school about how Superman 64 is the best game you've ever played. It. Yeah, that sounds like the kind of shit that I would do. Okay, not quite. I did read Nintendo may not act on the whole Pal World thing, and they're keeping an eye on it. They won't send lawyers on it right off the bat. Incidentally, I did read a thing recently, an interview between Luke Plunkett and Don McGowan. Don McGowan being a former lawyer for the Pokemon Company, who did say that, yeah, they do tend to like lie in wait for a lot of that stuff, to be fair, to see if it's actually like a complete threat or if they can spin it that way. But McGowan is no longer working for Pokemon Company as far as I know. So, yes. Round the wheel calling Pokemon XD, Pokemon Squinty Eyes laughing. Yeah, calling it XD is like, they chose the wrong time to call it that on top of anything else. Because, like, okay, if it had been a couple years earlier, maybe it could have been grandfathered in. But I remember everybody was fucking making fun of it for that. Imagine being a lawyer. Jeez, yeah. There aren't exactly a whole lot of Phoenix Wrights out there in the world. So, yeah, okay, back to the game. Sorry, I got distracted. Let's see if I can do this. This is not going to be a one and done for sure, especially because I'm clearly going after the trains the wrong direction. But I also don't know anything about this map whatsoever other than we've got trains, we've got jetpacks, we've got lamps, and we've probably got arches because what's a flight level without some arches, right? Yeah, I know, right? That's the other thing. Then again, also it's like, hey, it's an interview with Luke Plunkett, and if I recall correctly, well, I mean, I definitely recall that Luke Plunkett is the guy who was talking about company blacklists as like, and he posted that photo of the Nazi warplane attached to it or something. Which, you know, far be it from me to defend a corporation, so don't take it that way. But also, if you're part of a publication that is penning articles about how to pirate a corporation's games, you should at the very least not be surprised when they are not interested in letting you write stuff about their stuff anymore. That wasn't exactly the cleverest of takes. So I remember reading it, and as Don said the part of like, oh yeah, well, journalists help us out by calling attention to this stuff, and he just sort of goes, oh no. And I do have this moment of like, is he having an are we the baddies moment at that point? Because while I can't necessarily name any of the journalists offhand, also in my newest thing, I do call back to an old thing that I said when I reviewed Metroid Dread, because around that time, and it was Kotaku also who ran it, which, you know, busting on Kotaku is always like, it's always a tough situation in some ways, because you got to remember that there was a point when a lot of people who were absolutely making fun of that publication, God, you would think I have just started to speak English for the first time. that a lot of very, very bad people were roasting Kotaku basically for not being extreme right-wingers. Way back in certain eras that we shall not mention. But on the other hand, Kotaku is also very not good at the journalism thing. Just in terms of like a basic qualitative analysis kind of way. Also, by the way, we were not going to make this one anyway. So anyhow, yeah, I don't know if Luke Plunkett made the article that I had called attention to in that old Metroid Dread review, but there was an article that was circulating around the time about Ryujinx being able to play Metroid Dread and performing better than the Switch with it. Which, okay, sure, I suppose that is an interesting historical footnote, but perhaps if you're a game journalist, you should not be saying that because that's a good way to endanger the project, you idiot. That's a good question, Mega Man. I don't know, because I do not read any sort of, like, video game publications unless that stuff just crosses my thing by accident. I don't follow any of these sites. I don't, you know. If the articles end up across my metaphorical desk, it's because somebody retweeted, reposted, linked it in a Discord. One of those kind of concepts. You know, I don't go actively seeking it out as a general rule. Maybe sometimes I'll run into something on Google, but typically, for me to learn anything about anything that a video game journalist of any description is doing, it happens by accident. Also, I'm going backwards in these trains, aren't I? Yeah, but that's okay. We need a reset anyway. Video games? Do I look like a loser to you? As far as, like, race politics and video games go, it's like, well, it's on the same level that film and anything like that is, and if you want to consider them to be art, then you've got to subject them to the same kind of analysis as art. But I think the basic rule of, you know, proceeding in the human experience just kind of applies everywhere. Just don't be a dick to people, you know? You'll fix a lot of things by not being a dick. And when people tell you something, hear them out first before you push them away. I think I really need to reset this run because I lost track of where one of those chests was. RPCS3 and Persona 5. That's a thing. Yeah, that was an extremely stupid idea. Because here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that Sony was actually willing to let RPCS3 be. Until people started to say, hey, yeah, we can do P5 with it. Because Persona 5 was actually moving consoles still for the PS3. Which is probably wild to imagine because P5 was also on the PS4, excuse me, at the same time. But, you know, budgetary concerns and shit, right? So, yeah, real bonehead move there, I'll say that. As ever. Again, just don't talk about this stuff in a lot of public spaces because that's a good way to not have your project survive very long. Also, yes, we fucked that section up really badly, but I'm still out here like, wait a second, I've been missing one of the jetpacks this whole time, haven't I? There's 3 here. There should be 5 in the other room, right? Oh man, that's some that is some very stupid shit there. Oh, were they actually distributing it in the user Discord? I've heard evidence that said that was, and by evidence I mean I've heard basically I've heard the differing things there, but regardless, if they are actually handing that stuff out, that is not a good idea. I know that they linked to software that helped you get prod keys off of your Switch, which is perhaps not the smartest thing, but I think that most people, again, with regard to that, basically people have been generally holding that under current US copyright law, perhaps if I pronounced it correctly, that you are permitted to make backups of software that you own. However, obviously the corporations don't believe that way, and I am not completely certain as to what the actual holding would be under law on that one, and who's actually going to test that, right? Because never mind the fact that none of these people actually have money. I mean, people like to talk about how Yuzu was making a reasonable amount of money from their Patreon, but you got to remember that compare that to Nintendo is worth $65 billion. They were not a major player. They would not have been able to survive the onslaught of legal drubbing that would have been involved there. They would not have been able to take much of a shellacking, a pounding, a pummeling. Words that imply violence. Actually, what would the word be if it's like not imply, but I mean like imply to implicit? So what is there to explicit? Exply? Anyhow, yes, I'm scrolling back in here. Green Hell, I haven't heard about that, but that's kind of amazing sounding. Anyway, yes, Yuzu was not exactly the cleverest. Unfortunately, with regard to Tropic Haze, the thing that I think is sad and seems like a bit of an overreaching piss in your eye kind of moment on Nintendo's part was making them take down Citra. Like, really? Come on! Say whatever regarding Yuzu, but Citra did not need to die. You know, the 3DS is gone. Anywho, yes, I'm scrolling back through the chat. I'm sorry. You're allowed to make backups, but you're not allowed to use them, which begs the question, why are you making backups if you cannot use them? That's actually a good question, though. Started up and had individual per patch games. Game patches to make games run. That's actually quite cool and interesting regarding Ryujinx. I didn't know anything past, obviously Yuzu went down, but Citra, I knew about that. Yeah, anyway, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. My throat's getting a little bit... I should probably go get my big glass of water, but, well, by that I mean get my big glass and fill it with water, because I don't have a prepared glass of water that's just, like, off in the middle distance. Not being where it should be to replenish my throat lacquer. Anywho, yeah, yeah, so that's actually quite interesting regarding Ryujinx. I did not know that it was... But then again, I don't really know a whole lot about the guts of either of them to begin with. I just know, oh, it plays Switch games. That's real cool. maybe if they make one that I'm interested in. And yeah, the community immediately pulling stuff out of fear and people re-uploading it. That sounds like the sort of normal course of action, I suppose. I'm fucking this up horribly, but that's okay. One of these had to be not a three trier, because we've been having it too damn good for these for too damn long. You might be asking me, why do I keep trying when I know that the time is up? Well, it's because I like to believe in things. And, yes, I heard about the Suyu emulator. I'm gonna be honest, considering the name, I immediately regarded that as a joke. And also, apparently it is programmed like shit if people on Reddit are to be believed, which I know, but unfortunately I don't really have a whole lot of sources there, and that's literally where I ended up running into it, was somebody posting about it. I ended up there because I searched for something about, like, the history of paid emulators, and in particular about Bleem and the other PS1 one at the time, Virtual Game Station. Because, yeah, I felt that history stuff would be important. But like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about the performance of either of them because, I don't know, I think that a lot of the Switch library hasn't really impressed me too much, and with regard to, like, Pokemon and stuff like that, I would prefer to have those as actual cartridges. Especially if anything is going to be like, hey, this is a game that requires extensive multiplayer, doing it on an emulator seems like a bad idea. At least until private servers and stuff are the order of the day. Like, do you guys remember when Pokemon Sun and Moon were coming out and the games broke street date? And they obviously got leaked to people with emulators quite early on. And a bunch of people started going online, and they were wondering why they were getting banned for it. Like, guys, of course they know. You absolute fools. Fuck. Damn it. My camera angle. I'm bad at things. I can't see what that emote is. Well, nice, but that's... I mean, you're using hardware. Those people... They were... Well... Yeah. Anyway, yeah, regardless... There were a lot of bad ideas going around as regards Citra and... Or, not Citra. As regards Yuzu. However, I do want to take a moment to really say, yes, it is a lemming to have... I originally was going to do far more Lemmings content because there is a whole world of, like, custom stuff out there, but A, I'm really bad at it, which would actually make it funny. And B, I just started doing other stuff. You know, for all the long, boring-ass RPGs I play, I assume that there's only one more genre of games that people would consider more of a niche thing. And that is custom Lemmings level packs. Oh god, yeah, same. I wish that was a significantly more available thing. I really wish that, like, somebody had just made a very simple video out on the goddamn 3DS. Like, okay, the other earlier Nintendo handhelds had, you know, they required you to have hardware for other consoles, but at the very least, they did have something, right? Capturing footage from the DS requires hard modding your console or getting an actual, or just using an emulator, pardon me. Where is this last chest? I don't know where the last chest is. Well, shit. Oh, boy. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Roundy. For those of you who are not aware of who Mr. Round the Wheel is, other than the fact that he's now professionally employed as an English teacher and writes an excellent gaming blog called Blocker Trap, where he also talks about magic stuff. Anyway, Round the Wheel did a fair amount of custom Lemmings level LPs on YouTube. He also did some stuff for other games, but he is well versed in that situation. Probably not as much as some people, but definitely I think that he has enough knowledge of the custom Lemmings scene to see just how quickly a lot of that stuff turns into the dream theater of video games. That's a bit of a strange thing to say, I know, but I legitimately am not going to explain what I mean when I say that. You can figure it out for yourself. Or I probably will anyway later, but not yet. Not until I finish this, which is where I should be focusing my attention in the first place. But if any of you think for even a second that I am a focused individual, well then, I have a bridge to sell you. Oh no! We were really there. Something awful instead. No, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you view it, not something awful. I'm actually quite curious if there ever were, like, any sort of, like, something awful based, or just generally text-based, you know, Lemmings level, Let's Plays, blah, 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 words. I'm just kind of word souping at this point. Anywho, yeah, so basically what I'm saying is I kind of wonder if like the LP section of SA ever did have anybody who was doing Lemming stuff, because really at that point that's just walkthroughs, even more than a usual LP is. But I digress. I missed a chest somewhere and I don't know where it is. Good. I somehow cannot internalize the location of these damn chests. I just don't know what it is. Did I miss the... No, there's the other train. Alright. It's the trains. Now let's do the jetpacks, and then we can go and fail to find one more chest yet again. This is playing out a lot like the usual. I wish I had enough, like, brain capacity to just memorize where the chests are. All right, this time at least I didn't go. Have I been following the Dark Age drama? I have not, but I do know about it. And I gotta say, that's viscerally upsetting, actually. On some levels, because, like, damn! What the fuck? For so many reasons. I saw somebody posting about it on the former Bird site, so yes. I didn't stick with Raukau too much, but I do remember having watched and enjoyed some of his content. I thought it was very cool seeing stuff like Mario Adventure. That was a pretty cool ROM hack that I remember he looked at eons ago. Maybe if I go back and rewatch it now, I'll be like, yeah, actually, I was missing out real hard. Which is very likely to be the case, because I usually do not latch onto things very well in the moment. Hindsight and all that. Where's the... I keep missing this one, and I think it's because I'm taking a weird angle to get at that torch. Raukau is an interesting fellow with an interesting sense of humor, though. I'll say that for absolutely nothing. Where's the train? Okay, yeah, we're fucked, but also it's because I keep missing a couple of these jetpack dudes by like a few pixels of flame. Of course, I had to leave the one that was furthest away for last. Oh, somehow we got that. Amazing. Ooh, boy. We shouldn't have had that, but I think that we shouldn't have had that has been the overall theme of the flight levels for us, so... Why am I back here? I'm a... fool! Whoo, boy. Never accuse me of being clever or tasteful, or smart for that matter. I'll be back in just a second. I am going to, as I said, big glass of water so that way my throat doesn't start eating itself. I'm not dead yet, I just got back! But that scans about Torchman stage in Mega Man 11. I feel like every Mega Man platformer has at least one major FU stage. And that's it. I'm not I didn't fall in the toilet. I didn't even go to the bathroom. Jeez. Bubsy oh god. You walk past the can and you just that basically would be how Bubsy style would be, is you just walk past the can and you immediately make the idle death pose. Right, because yeah, Lirs, you remember when Alan streamed Bubsy 1 in the woods levels, and he just walked into the water, it got halfway in, and Bubsy just basically T-posed almost. Oh, he can actually reach me from there. Oops. Meanwhile, we've got these big round birds. Guys, I don't know who needs to tell you this, but do not inhale large amounts of helium right off the pump, especially if you're a bird. Oh, Bubsy 1's pretty rough. I cannot lie to that about that. Oh god, Sonic 06. Oh geez, don't remind me. I played that, and that game, ooh boy. I won't say that everything in Sonic 06 was a bad idea. I mean, obviously some of it is pretty ooh. Well. Oops. Yeah, was it me? Was it me who you saw stream it? I don't know if you did, actually, but, hey, we are defenders of the 16-bit era Bubsy here. Bubsy 1 was not a bad game. I personally like Bubsy 2 a little bit more, but on the other hand, Bubsy 2 does end very weakly. The less said about Bubsy for the Jag, the better. And yet, on the other hand, do not feed, by the way, I like that. On the other hand, the more said about Bubsy 3D, the better, because that's always funny. Yeah, I played Sonic 06. I played Sonic 06 over a year ago, I think. Thought about streaming Jazz Jackrabbit. Actually, I have not. Not because I'm necessarily against it or anything, mind you. But because the last time I attempted to play Jazz Jackrabbit, I believe it was... I believe I could not find the original very easily. Instead, the first thing that came up was like an engine clone called Open Jazz. And I dicked around with that a little bit, but it had this problem of... Because Jazz Jackrabbit is an old game from an era where screen resolutions were much smaller than they are now, it would display the same size, but if you were full screen, you would see huge swaths of the level that you normally wouldn't. And I found there to be something very disorienting about that. Oh, well, if it's on GOG, then I can probably... That's quite doable. I assume Epic still has the rights, though, and I don't know how I feel about giving money to Tim Sweeney. Jeez. Ugh. Ugh. But at the very least, if it's a thing that's out there and it's functional, which I guess is the other issue, to be fair, usually GOG does actually have their stuff all set up to be to work, possibly. So, you you know, it should be fine. Oh god damn, Jazz Jackrabbit is... Yeah, it's 2024! Thank you, sir. That's very useful. Advice, I suppose. And by that, I mean... Huh? Oh, right, yeah, GOG is CDPR, but... My thought was also like, well, wouldn't they get a little bit of the money from, I did not charge through those achievement notification. But yeah, to be fair, CDPR, I know I'm a little bit sour on them after a lot of things to do with Cyberpunk, but, you know. Cyberpunk was probably a game that was really stretching itself a little bit anyway. I don't know. Yeah, that was a pretty good plush fairy that fella had. Okay, good. I can actually reach that. Cool. Otherwise, I was gonna be like, what do you need me to drop on this for? Or something. Okay, I can't jump that high. Did I get him? I guess I did. Anyway, excuse me if I make a noise. I don't mean that in a general sense. I mean, like... Okay, yeah, so apparently the balloon dudes can just be killed by... Oh god, was that a CDPR related... a CDPR fiasco too? I forgot who was... Yeah, you can tell. I remember it happening, especially now that it's mentioned.
Here in Lofty Castle too. See where it takes you.
Yes, I remember in Roundy's very old talk-through of Spyro the Dragon, he said something about the phrasing of Lofty Castle 2 being a little bit strange. But in this case, we can see that it's TOO because we have subtitles. Anyway, I probably should have kept charging, but I want to get a better view of things here. And not just completely, you know, not just completely fuck it, we ball completely. Can I say completely one more time as just a weird choke? Gotcha. Yeah. Mostly I just remember, hey, horrible mess. And to be fair, that's not necessarily far wrong.
Thank you for releasing me.
Yeah, somehow I never thought of it either, so... Listen, or don't. I don't know where I'm going with that. Let's just get these balloon fellas out of here. Oh. Well, that would have made that jump a lot easier. And yet that jump was still not as hard as some of the shit that we've had to do in this world. In fact, not even in this level, I don't think. Let's deal with these turbines. We haven't really seen a whole lot of those for a bit, which is interesting. Anyway, it's very interesting that Jazz Jackrabbit is still around and easily available like that, but it's also one of those games that I'm surprised there hasn't been any sort of look at an HD remake of it or anything like that. I mean, I know a lot of people are just like, oh, well, Jazz 2 is better, which I don't know that I don't know if I agree with that because I've never played any of Jazz 2. But I also don't think that one has ever had any semblance of a push for any sort of remake. And listen, the game industry loves remaking old games. So perhaps that's why it's even more surprising. You assume I could believe it. But realistically, there are so many more things that Cliff Bleszinski has done that he should be embarrassed by than fucking Jazz Jackrabbit. And I'm just talking about things that he's failed at is all, you know. Like, God, what was that awful battle royale from a couple years ago that, like, died within weeks of coming out? And it had some sort of, like, 80s aesthetic to it, I think. I'd have to go look it up, but it was a thing. I swear I'm not just imagining it, but also just, Cliff Bleszinski is an expert in failure. Yeah, no, I could believe it, but also just, man. If that's all it takes to embarrass you, Mr. Bleszinski, have you considered existing in a different industry? His mother is very proud of him. Lawbreakers, yes, I believe that was the one. Thank you. Round the wheel. Perhaps the person I would least expect to know that out of this chat room, actually. Anyway, Mark, I think that might be a little bit far. He's not Tommy Tallarico. Come on. Oh, Tommy Tallarico. What a human being who exists, right? It's wild to believe that out of... Well, I don't know where I'm going with that, but aside to say that I don't think there's a human being who has lied more than him. I'm not sure that he's ever done anything, to be honest with you. Tommy Tallarico. After all the other nonsense, I would not be surprised to discover that actually he's BS about all of his achievements. Okay, so this just takes us up to where we can get the 3 cage fairies. This is the one we want to go to. Of all the human beings of all time, yeah, that's a good summation of Tommy Tallarico, I think. Is of all the human beings of all time, he certainly is one of them. That is the one thing that you cannot take away from Tommy Tallarico, is that he is a human being. I'm probably going to screw this jump up a couple times because I'm not good at jumping in this game. Just full stop. I'm going to assume that we don't have to keep up the supercharge. Yeah, this is just right over here. That's right, Butters. All the treasure in the... Wow, it's only a 400. this deep into the game, I don't expect 400s anymore. I expect like everything to be a 5. Because that's just sort of where the numbers game has been going for a bit. Alright, so Dark Passage is next, and then we've got the boss, and then it's on a Nasty's world. Yeah, it certainly is, especially because they were like, hey, yeah, Supercharge ramp, and I was just like, ah, shit. That level is really set up to be like, hey, yeah, expect some pain, and then I did, and I didn't get a whole lot of it, surprisingly. But also, to be fair, after Treetops, like, any of the rest of this just kind of feels like... Oh, that creature's mouth kind of looks like an anus. Sorry, where was I? Oh, yes. After Treetops, I feel like I would expect worse out of basically anything. What you should expect worse of out of me is aim. It's just normal Capcom monsters. But this game was made by Insomniac originally.
The enemies here can be quite frightening, but you should watch the fools.
I'd rather flame the fools.
Now you're thinking.
That's an interesting tail shape that fella had. The form is kind of like a little bit Tsuchinoko, kind of a little bit, because it's so flat in the area. And anyway, yeah. So, wow, now you're just being a little bit rude, buddy. Okay, yeah. So in the light, the weird anus mouth demon dogs turn into chihuahuas. Gotcha. That's a quite interesting turn of phrase, you know. Rarely spoken sentences, right? Oh, absolutely. The dragons in, well, like all the dragons look pretty great, but in this world I'm loving some of these designs. Oh, those constellation sunglasses. That's pretty neat. Stay lit. There we go. I mean, if the devil dogs come at us once at a time, they're easy enough to deal. Oop. Well, that's okay. I had too many lives anyway. I have to dump some so that way I can become less encumbered when I climb the stairs after collecting the Amulet of Yendor. Sorry, I've never beaten NetHack. And I feel like making a NetHack joke is a little bit esoteric even by my standards here. All right, Chief, what do you got to tell me?
You know, I think you just might be the dragon to defeat Nasty Nork. That's me, all right.
Well, I sure hope so, because it's Spyro's name, what's on the cover of the Vigi game here. I was expecting him to tell me something like, hey, yeah, be careful, this weird downward spiral sort of structure of this level. Now, we just sort of accidentally into this set of treasure earlier and then died for it, but... Okay, a lot of looking down here. Well, it's a good thing that there's not much looking up because, much like a dog, I am incapable of doing that. I also don't know how to dodge around fireballs, apparently. Which, hey, nice of the game to make those little babby turtles still able to hurt you. That's kind of surprising that, because, well, maybe the chihuahuas are actually able to hurt you too, but they definitely are much easier to deal with because they're not covered in metal. No, I'm just saying that if I have to look up, I will just extend my legs higher somehow. I don't know. I don't know what I'm... I don't know where I'm going with this one. That's gotta be the last dragon for the level, right?
I'd love to help you catch Nasty, but I'd really hate to be trapped in Crystal again.
Don't worry. The only one that's gonna be trapped is him.
Can you at least give me like a... something else? I don't know. Something to help me fight him? A longer flamethrower range or something? I don't know. Ah! I don't remember which one number 69 was. But probably not quite as nice as we were assuming. But not a jerk either, so... I mean, wait. That sounds like its own joke in and of itself. Wow, there's a lot of dragons in this level, actually. Because this will be number 5 for this level?
Thank you for releasing me.
Yeah, nobody's got anything special to say here in Dark Passage. Yeah, we're missing 104 treasure. And it's another very odd long glide. Much less of the gimmick percentage-wise for this level than I would have expected. A nice crowded room here. But I'll take it over the murder frog room from that one level in the swamp. Did I get everybody? Sure did. Let's go. Anyway, you said something about working with gadgets. And I was going to say something like, do those still see play in Yu-Gi-Oh? Because, like, I have no idea what's going on with that game. Except that apparently there's a new banned and restricted list coming sometime soon. I think what I've heard from anybody is, like, they're expecting them to maybe deal with, like, something in the Snake Eye deck or whatever it's called. Or maybe they're just hoping because it's really consistent. Again, I don't know anything about the actual meta of Yu-Gi-Oh! If I pick that back up, I'm basically just gonna play Skull Servants because they're funny. Anyway, we got a boss to go to. That's enough goofing around. Which, yes, it it is quite hard for me to say that's enough goofing around. It is hard to imagine that. So I don't know why I said those words. Just imagine. Just imagine I can remember where the damn boss is. Well, I see the Balloon Man's platform, so it's over the far end, right? Because they arrayed this world, at least that part of it, very straightforwardly. But yes, Ratchet and Clank, that is true. I did play all the PS2 Ratchet and Clanks, except for the ones that are ports of PSP games. I haven't played those on stream yet. Maybe I will at some point. Better be responsible and hit the hay. Yeah, you know what? That's fair enough. You have that whole English teacher job. You have a nice bit of sleep there, Roundy. Oh, that's a quite nasty looking fella. Yeah, speaking of anything to do with like any card games, I mentioned it on Blue Sky, but I kind of wonder how hard it would be to actually set up to stream the 1997 MTG game for PC, because it had an issue with it basically of it doing a lot of different things in like separate windows, because there's an adventure game sort of mode for it, and then if you get into a fight on that, you then have to it opens another window, so like you have to have that as a separate window in OBS. And I think for coin flipping it does a little cinematic that's probably its own separate window, and basically it just was really clunky when I was trying to record it eons ago for something, and I don't remember what it was. And I almost fell in the pit. Meanwhile, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is significantly easier because all that shit's on consoles. That's not true. There are some of those for PC, and I'm not counting Legacy of the Duelists and its ports. Inscription is a thing that exists that I still haven't actually looked at too much, but okay, so how much of this... Okay, so we gotta hit both of these fellas in order to get the platform up all the way. Okay, so let's wait for them to be in roughly the same location. There we... Crap. Ooh, we got away with it. And we shouldn't have. But, hey, who am I to complain about a game? Let's not. Are you guys trying to get me kicked off of the platform? I mean... Oh, I'm sure that's not true, but yeah, people are a little bit upset about something in Cards Against Humanity now, and it's like, well, realistically, I gotta ask why you're doing that in the first place, right? As I said, it has a, well, as I suppose I implied earlier, because I didn't really say anything about it, it has a fairly limited audience, let's say. And pretty much every time I've ever played it, basically the end result of that has just been like, hey, yeah, now we've managed to find which one of us is the person with the worst sense of humor impressive. Because sure, I think it's quite... I think this shouldn't really need to be said, but there are different ways that you can laugh about the worst things in the universe, right? You can do the you've got to laugh or you'll cry kind of thing.
Any advice before this battle?
Oh, check out this incredibly fashionable fellow.
Wise dragon once told me aim high in life, but watch out for flying boxes.
Huh?
Yeah, that's true too, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that afterwards, but... Ow, well, I guess I didn't watch out for flying boxes hard enough. Also, I've just realized, Jacques, flying boxes, the theme is Jack in the Box. That makes sense. Anyway, yeah, about that, I don't remember a ton of the details regarding the founder of Cards Against Humanity doing some sketchy shit, but I do remember that to be the case. I seem to recall some statements about people saying that the work environment was hostile, to put it kindly, towards women. But that's not even the, you know, that's not even the whole of it. Regardless, let's just see what our number is. Oh, we're missing a ton from here. I think that a lot of it is stuff that you have to fly lower for, right? That seems familiar, but only just. Anywho, yeah, there's different ways to laugh about the worst things in the universe. You've got to laugh because you'll cry, and then there's laughing because you genuinely enjoy other people's suffering, especially when they're in certain groups of people. And believe it or not, it is much easier to tell this than it sounds. And let me tell you, when you break out Cards Against Humanity, you find out real fast who in the group that you're saddled with playing it is the scumbag. And I mean, I suppose that's useful, but it's not fun, and it's not really my style of entertainment. Yeah, the Yarn Dragon is fantastic. That is a good design. This is just the start of the level. I'm trying to hash out here where there could be a buttload of treasure that I've missed. Ooh, I'm gonna have to make a run for something here, aren't I? So those don't manipulate it. Nose. Alright, so does one of the fools control that pillar that we saw over there? Because that's my first thought as to what would help us here. That one will get us. That one will get us up from there. That gets us over here. Yeah, sorry, we're gonna be spinning our wheels a little bit here while I test things out. Okay, so it's this one we have to deal with, right? Yes. Yes. Okay, so this is the long route, so we shouldn't do this. Okay. Gotcha. Anyway, now that I'm done complaining about something that will probably end up alienating my entire audience to complain about.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Take care.
Sure thing, buddy. We got all the dragons in this level, unsurprisingly. And now we are just going to be negotiating with the amount of treasure that's available to us. What did that do? Okay, that extends that. We're gonna look around the entire area first. Oh. These can't be rammed, can they? Oh, no, they... No. Well, maybe... This one looks really thin. No, it's just because it's taller, right? Listen, I was hopeful, okay? Is that so wrong? What do you mean, yes? Right, because all the dragons in Nasty's world are repeats, yeah? If I have that correct. I don't know why I went there. I guess I thought there was a health. Falco, what are you doing in this game? Don't you have Rock Me Amadeus to sing? Wait, no, sorry, wrong Falco. And that goes way too wide of a curve. $34. There we go. That's the health goofus I was looking for. I'm just taking the L on this one. Another one of those jumps. Oh, why am I facing this way? I don't want to see that thing anymore. You kidding me? Dang it. That's the only way I get enough height for that, right? Because the other one doesn't put me higher than that pillar. And that's where our last 15 treasure are for the level. So it's not like it's just me being like, oh, I gotta explore this whole map like some sort of hubristic... A lot of hubris, guy. I assume I'm just not making the jump well enough, and that's it. At least I sure hope that's the case. Oh, you can click the left stick and Sparks does that. That's neat. Clicking the right stick puts you in first-person view, which the triangle button already does. Why'd I do that? I think I just was concerned I didn't get enough distance, which, I mean, is a legitimate concern, but also... Well, time to fail at basic platforming for, like, I don't know, however long it takes. to you tormenting Spyro like a terrible person. Listen, I bet Silver's levitation would actually work better here than this. Maybe just because I'm thinking, oh yeah, it would be nice to have a little bit more, a little bit more just flat horizontal movement. But that's just me. It wouldn't help. Now, surely jumping from the ledge itself is not going to give me more distance, right? And there's no other way for me to get onto that platform that I'm missing out on. Come on, Spyro, use those front legs to, like, grab the edge or something. Shit. Well, so much for the idea, which was going to be jump back into the thing and see if that gets us any more height. And I mean, it probably won't, but we start at a higher point, and I feel like I could probably make a nice, like, tight path there. Yeah, that doesn't get us any better, obviously, but I thought it was worth a try in case we were being baited. Unfortunately, I had to try it twice in order to actually get anywhere with it, but as I'm just sitting here trying to be like, okay, can I match, like, the straightest possible line here? And you should all know by now that I don't know how to do things straight, but there we go. I finally got it. Again, that felt like I am kind of getting away with something that the game normally wouldn't let me, but we did it. And hey, this time we never had to use a continue. That's right. Suck it, treetops. But let's get back in here. Get back out there. Whatever. We get to go visit the balloon man and say, "Hey, I've got stuff. Let's go visit Nasty Land."
Well done, Spyro. I hope you know what lies in store for you. Nasty's world is not the friendliest place you'll ever find. Are you ready to
You
go?
don't say. Let's go for it. Wait, did we just jump on him in order to get a boost? All right, well, here we are. Let's pick up our stuff. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get that. Well, now I feel silly. It's okay. I'm sure these rats will help me out. Pick up our cash. There's our first level, Nork Cove. You can see on this case, Oh, did I just not notice it then? That's very likely.
Hey, didn't I already free you?
You're in Nasty's world now, Spyro. And you are the dragon that must defeat him.
Bring him on. I'm ready.
Reach the exit in each of Nasty's lands. Then you can challenge the Nork himself.
Yep, so we gotta beat, I think it's 2 levels and then Nasty. And then the last one opens up to Nasty's Horde, which is a bonus level if you get everything else, which, I mean, we've been pretty vigilant about that. Oh, careful. Big boys have some big metal barrels. I was gonna say, aren't these like loaded with gunpowder or something? Oh, don't do that. Bounce back. Yeah! See, I knew they were explosive. Because I remember that from when I saw someone else play this game millions of years ago. And we've got other kinds of explosive barrels around here. Thanks for the help, Ratman. That was probably unnecessary, but it felt good or something. Alright, we've got more exploding barrels incoming. Whoa! Amazing. Anyway, yeah, TNT barrels. I was gonna say something about, boy, I wish we could find a switch barrel around here, but I don't know if anybody here is here that remembers that particular DKC3 level. I can't even remember what it was called, but it was the... Ah, shit. Well, we died because I was clumsy. Rip. Rip in pieces. Let's restart the level while I adjust my chair here. Crossover with the Mother series, New Nork City. Or just anything that we could use to reference New York City, I guess. Oh, come on. There's got to be at least one you damn carrots in there somewhere if it's Cranky Kong.
Keep up the good work, Spyro. I expect Nasty's really starting to worry about you.
I'd be shaking in my Nork boots if I were him.
I mean, we should just be glad that Nasty doesn't seem to have very good aim in terms of, like, shooting magic at us to turn us into a crystal statue. Ha ha! Gotcha. Give him the old stair stab. Wait. I remember when my friend could actually do TF2 stuff properly. So we've got this situation going on here. I'm assuming that just straight charging these things is a good way to get yourself blowed up, just like... Yeah. We have hit points to spare, it's fine. It's just like Crash Bandicoot, you know. But then I got to figure out how we're supposed to break that. Oh, do we just have an easy shot with that? No, not in the slightest. We're gonna have to probably get to that later or something. Rush Duelist drops. Right, yeah, and the only thing that I heard about anything to do with an OCG list or any sort of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list is people suspecting, possibly hoping that they hit Snake Eye Diabell Star combos. I don't know anything about Rush Duel. Again, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! In a while, but we've been over that. Oh, hey, free one up. They're really giving those out in terms of some surprisingly easy locations, it feels like now. Ow! Well, I probably deserved that, but still. Nice heart crit boxers on that dude, by the way. Tomas, we rescued you in the first world, right?
Wow.
Yep.
I never thought I'd be rescued, especially by such a little dragon. What I mean is, I always believed in you, Spyro.
You gotta believe.
Buddy, you got rescued by us before. Come on. Don't be such a jerk. Oh, love that chain reaction. Beautiful. Oops. That was some bad play. So I gotta circle around this. Spyro Fan 3. Hello, how are you this evening? Hope you're doing well. Glad to hear it. Let's... Right. Yeah, this guy would... It's probably easier to just hit this dude with the ranged barrel instead of trying to get over there safely, because we've been taking a lot of hits for stupid reasons. It's just something I'm skilled at. A little bit of auto-aim? Not quite, it just looked like it. Yeah, that one was a little bit riskier. Gotta remember we don't have sparks, so we gotta pick up the gems properly. Otherwise, well... Just well. So we didn't get everything here. We got all the dragons. It's only a 400 treasury level. I'll take the L on this one and just use this to warp backwards. It's probably better that than running through the whole level again. We're in a location where we can get some stuff. Right. Alright, so there's a key that we need. And I'm just taking a quick look backwards here. I know I'm going backwards. Yeah. So we got everything past the, we got everything after, whatever. We got everything before the box that we had to blow up is the important part here. Take these guys out by jumping at them, just so that way they don't swing down and wrench me. It is less of a free combo. Okay, so this is a not locked box. There was a locked box that we missed, right? I'm not just imagining that, right? We got these guys already. No, we did not. There's a different part of the level. Pardon me. Nice and easy to... Yeah, there's our key, rather. Not so much the lock. The lock we'll find attached to a box. Is it actually this way, or am I... No, it was somewhere else, wasn't it? I'm very forgetful. Yeah, it was in here. We'll just ignore these two for a second, because it's funnier that way. And there we go. That's everything in the level. And now, we don't need to do that. We can just hit exit level. Oh, you stop that. Alright, we're still missing 25 treasure out of the home world, but I believe that we find those inside... Is it 25? No, it's a 200. That's... So wait, we beat that. Okay, so what opens where then? Is that not how you... This level? So I have to throw these things. Hold on just a second. Let me make sure that I am not somehow missing a bunch of stuff here. Well, we're missing a dragon from the home world, apparently. And otherwise, we've gotten everything else in the game so far. Yeah, see? 100%. The only thing we're missing is skill points, which would be really weird for it to want. So, I guess I've just done goofed up somewhere. Okay, there's the balloonist. Okay, yeah, that's about what I figured, because that guy tells you about Nasty's horde, right? So what am I forgetting to do in order to open these? Because that's what you have to do, is these have to open up to reveal the next level, right? Do I have to do something in the last... Oh, I have to leave through the portal, not through... Oh, that's... Well, that's my own laziness getting to me. Well, I guess we're redoing this level, but now we don't have to explore. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Mildly silly, but okay. Mostly I'm just saying that because it's like, oh, well, that really threw me way off. I'm confused. I'm easily confused anyway. Why didn't I earlier? It's very simple, because the last items that I got were a little distance away, and I was quite lazy. Being a little lazy about it, and yeah. It's okay, getting through here is super easy when you don't have to actually get any items. It's easy if you can line yourself up with the barrels properly anyway. That's not where I have to go. This is where I have to go. Why did I think I had to climb on the barrel? That would be weird. That's the crate. The one that we're looking for is this way. We are trying to get 100% at least of the stuff in the original game. I haven't been pushing myself for skill points too much, because those were not in the PS1 original. Complete Nork Cove without killing any rats. Well, that just happened by accident. Alright then. Which means that we're free to go torch a couple of rats and get our health back here. Alright, Twilight Harbor. And a chest full of a surprising amount of treasure, really. Yeah, it's worth a whole 50. Oh, you stop that. It's probably not that... Well... Ah, yes, we got Norks with miniguns full of purple ooze. I recall there being, very briefly, like, a few people who were, well, they were pretending, obviously. They don't give a shit because welcome to the internet age. Of people who were acting a little bit aggrieved on social media about the fact that they went to, like, paint guns instead of firing bullets. And I feel like that's a very silly thing to be concerned about. Out of all the things out there in the world. But then again, hey, people being mad on the internet about silly things is, well, as close to a tradition as you can get, really, with the age of social media on a concept level. Let's get that one piece of health back.
Thank you for rescuing me.
Here it is. I mean, people on the internet absolutely would. I think it is not controversial to say that there's a subset of people who just enjoy getting mad about things on the internet. Right? Like, that shouldn't be a weird sentiment in this day and age for anyone to say. I mean, it's a weird concept, but that's not the same thing. Ooh, more charge ramps. Well, that'll be how we deal with that one box that we saw earlier.
Be on the lookout for no commandos, Spyro.
They better be on the lookout for me.
Yeah, well, that's all the dragons found nice and quickly. So I guess there's exactly 80 to collect in the game. 80 to rescue. That's interesting because, yeah, 80 is a good round number, but it's also like a slightly odd choice of a good round number, right? Anyway, let's go get that crate. Yes, I'm pretty sure that was a nice, easy charge, right? Nothing weirdly untoward to deal with there? Yep. We took the big leap in order to make sure that we didn't die as easily. Yeah, there was that whole area that we haven't checked out at the top of the Supercharge ramp, so I'll go do that real quick. Oh. Never mind. I thought there was more stuff up there. Now, I bet that there's something I can... Well, probably not a big, long Ultra Charge like that, but we'll find out. Aww! How embarrassing. Played that like crap. Yeah, 400. I just had to double check. It seems like this sort of level is like, hey, there's a lot more level to go. Well, there's our portal. We're coming away from this missing 98 treasure. This game has like this really interesting habit of just making sure that the numbers of treasure that you're missing, if you miss the area that you were supposed to explore to, is just enough to really make you feel off. Okay, nothing over here. There's a whole area up there that we missed. That's cool. I don't know how to get there. I mean, I guess we could launch ourselves with a nice long supercharge jump. Ooh, here's some stuff I didn't check out. It's not going to get us enough height to get to that area, I'm sure. Alright, so this is all the way back at the start. Extra life. And a couple of treasure. So now we're missing 84, which is only a slightly more unusual number. And I've got a feeling it's all in that one place that we've missed. All right. So this is my current first guess for how we have any chance of being able to get up there. And it didn't work. Alright, the other option is basically making a blind curve. Or alternately, big-ass supercharge all the way to... Well, we just don't get the height from... Yeah, because obviously that's not going to do it. I'd feel quite silly going straight back to YouTube as like the last level of the game that we've got here, basically. Because I'm pretty sure that outside of fighting Nasty Nork and Nasty's Horde, this is the end, right? So, what incredibly stupid thing am I missing? I don't think I can get onto that chunk there with a charge, but we can take a crack at it. Yeah, I didn't think so. But it was worth a try, or at least that's what I'm going to tell myself. So I'll be able to sleep at night. There's a lever on that wooden bridge. Oh, boy. Alright, let's retraverse the bridge. Ah, okay. I see. Interesting. I mean, fair enough, it sticks out. I just think that's the only one of those that we've seen this entire game so far, so that's definitely kind of odd. At least from that perspective. Nice. All right, can we make this glide jump? Yes. All right, now we gotta remember we gotta actually exit through the portal. Let's not be idiots about this time. I mean, it makes sense for something that's oriented around linear progression, but it definitely threw me off. Alright, so there should be another 75 treasure that we can get out of this chest, and then 500 in Nasty's level actually sounds about right. That was some odd-looking texture stuff there. Also, I like that you can see Spyro's footprints in the stuff coming out of the Nasty Nork portal. Alright, it's on to the final boss. And hopefully I don't do something stupid like miss out on any of the treasure while I'm in here. That would make me feel dumb. Ah, he's got a big boy laser gun, I see. Yeah, Nasty Nork's a big dude. He's a heavyweight. He can definitely carry the Kurosawa. Oh, and there's a key thief here too. I'm digging this already. Let's concern ourselves with picking up all the stuff in the area first. Then we go after the thief. Sorry, I had a bit of a thumb tip ache there. All right, we got the key. Aww. Wow, those hit you pretty easily down there. That's not the right lock. That's... It'd be nice if they had some sort of visual cue. Well, now that we've lost all our health, you know, we're handicapping ourselves. That's what I'm gonna pretend. Well, it's interesting that the thief didn't run away there immediately. Alright, so are there any other locks to open up here? Or is it just that one? Well, that looked for a second like we were about to get roasted, so that's quite a surprise. Yeah, okay, dude. You keep doing that. That's fine. We'll catch up to you in a second. Oops. Well, that's all right. They shouldn't make us redo the lock challenge, right? Oh no, we gotta go recollectible thieves. All right. Now that I'm not such a fan of, but really? Well, at least I didn't get hit for it, even though he's shooting for me. Alright. First key obtained. Which means, remember, go look for a different lock, not that one. That's a bit of a throw off. I don't know what that's... I don't remember what that's like on the PS1 offhand. From what I've seen of it, but... that seems like a slightly mean thing to do with the... I mean, obviously they're different graphics, but how do you tell, right? There's no, like, 1 or 2 or anything marked on either of the locks. And there perhaps should be, or a color coding or something. Unless it's something that I'm missing, in which case, I mean, that's a distinct possibility, right? Fuck. And of course, this one has the rudeness to laugh at me every time I bonk. What an absolute hero. Okay. No. No, it does not. Oops. Although it does seem a little bit... it does kind of suck having to redo the... Wow, alright, dude. Hey, we managed to actually headbutt him that time. That's neat. That very rarely happens to me. Ow! Just wow. Well, it's okay. If we're gonna die, it's probably gonna be from falling into the purple stuff later in the level anyway, so... Alright, that's that solved. Now, maybe this time we can get over there. Hopefully he doesn't laser us while we're getting into the cutscene. That would be really unfortunate. Oops. Alright, first hit. Buddy. Ooh, I don't like this. There's no checkpoints in this fight either, are there? Yep, he's right back to the laser cannon hammer. I do like that he's got a hammer with a laser cannon in it. I got the key. Now, we gotta redo this part, and we gotta not screw up the rest of that, and we gotta go through the second section a lot faster, I see. Is the platforms recede? Yeah, I saw that, but I thought I had more time, basically. And yeah, obviously, you're probably going to be a little bit slower when you're doing an unfamiliar platform section, right? So it might take me a couple tries. At least I'll get ample practice on this part, where I'll probably still end up taking a couple of hits from the laser cannon like an idiot. I can't cut across that one. I can cut across the other jump that I didn't, but... I probably should, actually. Give me a second here to... I am getting a little bit of an ache in the old right thumb, because, yeah, I mean, this is just, hey, you want to hold down the square button for a very long time? To which, I mean, the answer is... Geez, that long? Are you kidding me? You... you sickos? I'm not actually complaining as much as it sounds like. But also, rough. This is the way your mother likes it, Trebek. Wait. Well, we... Where the hell am I? I just had to end that part with the camera angle just facing a corner, right? Yeah, it's a thing that tends to happen with anything to do with controllers. It's the curse of the olds. Ah. Better. All right, now let's go unlock this thing, and hopefully don't just charge straight into a plasma bolt. All right, adjusting in my chair, and let's go. All right, remember we can't cut across that, but we can tighten a little bit on the curve. We're pretty much gonna have to get up to him and flame him right before he starts to restart the cycle, I think. It would make the most sense because he's located right there. Is he? Oh. Never mind. And of course, that was very weird because I hit a different face button at the same time. So I thought for a second that it was about to hop into a cutscene or something. But no, it was just me screwing up. Because I didn't notice the part of the HUD that says, hey, yeah, press triangle to exit look mode. Even though it was literally right there. That's right, sir. You give me that orb.
You're toast, Nork.
I thought that was longer than that. All right. Well, enjoy the final cutscene and the credits. Well, second to final cutscene anyway. Because, yeah, there's Nasty's Horde still to deal with.
Sorry I took so long. Almost forgot about
But
you guys.
Nasty's Horde is just a collect a bunch of shit, so, yeah.
Nasty Nork is toast.
So now there's order again in the Dragon Kingdom?
Well, mostly. I've still got some treasure to find.
What will you do next?
I'd say the sky's the limit.
He's going to Disneyland. Wait, no, sorry, that's a reference to an old ad. Well, since we get credits, I'll do the usual sort of end of game review sort of thing that I usually do when the credits come up. And say that, yeah, this is a lot of fun. Excellent remake. Definitely handles a little better than the original did. From my recollection, which I need to underscore. You know, my recollection is not great. At least it certainly felt like it handled very well. Which, compared to 3D platformers in the 90s, yeah, I gotta think it was improved. Beautiful looking remaster, very faithful. Sometimes that was probably, it probably could have stood to have been made a little less mean because, yeah, Treetops is evil. Oh, man. There's some sick fucks who were working at Insomniac in the 90s, I'll tell you that. And in the 2000s. And even beyond that. Well, Lears, keep in mind that we've still got to go do Nasty's Horde, so we got to go pick up some more treasure. So it's like 0.9 down, 2.1 to go, more or less. And yes, after we do this trilogy, we'll switch over to... We'll find something else to do badly at, but that's until later. A whole list of all the office pets, of which there's a whole lot of them. Beanox? Hey, I know those guys from Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. which I believe I still don't own that, even though I was looking for that a million years ago. I have the original CTR, and by the original I mean I have the PS3, PS1 Classics version on my PS3, obviously. Which I assume is pretty darn close in terms of quality. And also is really hard. I'm really bad at it. I'm not good at racing games. I mean, my talent at any type of video game is questionable to say the least, but racing games, oof. Let's not even go there. A lot of little sub companies doing all kind of various stuff for that. Danny Carp. Danny Magikarp. Wait, no, I don't know if that's true. QA Analyst 2. That's something funny about that. Hey, Vicarious Visions. They did some stuff way back in the day, but most recently that I've dealt with them has been with the Insane Trilogy. I'm trying to remember what they did in the 90s that I know them for. So clearly I don't know them that well. Well, time to go do a Wikipedia thing on my phone here. That's disappointing. Developed. There's probably something Crash Bandicoot related. Yeah, I mean, stuff takes a lot of people nowadays, right? Like, just wow. You think about how big the crew on anything has to be. Especially if they want to get it out in any sort of timely manner, which that's also a thing that becomes necessary. Because how many companies are going to be like, yeah, let's just wait around for so many Vicarious Visions did some Tony Hawk games. Mostly it looks like ports of the original Tony Hawk games, but of course, you know, those were Neversoft productions originally. They did some work on some of the Crash Bandicoot spin-offs. They were on a couple of Spider-Man games. Interestingly, not the one that I was thinking of, which was the original Spider-Man game for PlayStation. It looks like they were on a Game Boy Color Spider-Man game instead. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. so I'm not 100% sure on Vicarious Visions, other than the fact that they seem to have been like just whenever Neversoft needed something ported, it looked like they were the guys. And the sunglasses. This piece of art, all of these are pretty fantastic. They were having some fun doing stuff with these credits, that's for sure. Which, I mean, they should, with how long they are. They gotta do something with all this time. Because, yeah, goodness knows, teams of hundreds of people total to get games out there into various parts of the world. Very special thanks to Insomniac Games. Indeed. I made fun of them a little bit, but that's just because I've played several of their titles. With additional special thanks. Oh, ew, Mark Cerny. Ew. Original music by Stuart Copeland. Indeed, yes. I guess so, right? Maybe canonically he just makes a video game of his own adventures. That's probably what I would write. So. Oh yeah, is there like a fast forward button? Oh well, there's a cut straight to the end button, that's for sure. Because, you know, fuck them. Oh no, I knew what you were going for, but wait, every time? Oh yeah, let me go rescue the new dragon. That'll probably crack open Nasty's horde.
Nasty's ancient history now. So, what's in there?
I believe this is Nasty's treasure hoard. But the gate will only open if you have found everything in the Dragon Kingdom. Come back when you have reached 100%.
Well, we sure did. Unlock Nasty's loot. Pardon me, I've been saying the wrong name the whole time. It's Nasty's loot, not Nasty's horde. Nasty's loot box? Wait. I'm just saying Activision, right? I guess so. Anyway, you start out on this, and this is a little terrifying, right? Where do you go? Well, not right into the drink. You can fly in this level, though. And that's how we're going to be getting around to get... You drown! Yeah, exactly. Again, speaking of DKC, you do something that should ordinarily kill you in order to make progression and find the secrets, right? Classic Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, I think I mentioned something about that at the beginning cutscene, that, yeah, this has been alluded to earlier in the game where they say, we now have 12,000 treasure, or is it 14,000, and here's where the other 2,000 are. Because, indeed, we're not kidding, 2,000 treasure to find in here. Oh, yeah, I love running the score up. Speaking of running the score up, I seen a couple extra life baskets over there. Oh no, I was wrong. They're purple gems. Listen, I was moving real fast. They were purple. Aww. Can't actually land on that. Darn. Well, that's okay. There's more steps. That's right. There's more steps to completing this level than just completing this level. Also, yeah, really intense music for this level where it's just like, well, you're height limited on your flight ability here. It's kind of like, I'd say it's kind of like the flight levels, but that's not actually true. So, although you saw us warp like really stupid high earlier when we took damage, you can't just do stuff like that and you can't just fly straight up. But I do appreciate what you're saying, Lyris. You're not wrong to think something like that. Ah, crud. He turned around. He was onto us. And yeah, that's the point, is that you unlock the doors in order to get to higher vantage points in order to be able to get to more treasure. That's right, you collect more treasure so you can collect more treasure. Yes. Like I said, I love running up a score. I also need to remember to let go of the thumbstick when I start flying, otherwise I just thud straight into the ground like an idiot. Yeah, see, I knew this is where the door is. Thanks, Cave Johnson. Ooh. And that jet aircraft, which is not a jet aircraft at all. In fact, it appears to be a propeller aircraft. Has a key for us, I believe. I assume it's a key. Yeah. I hear another one, I think. Crack this door open. It's that jet engine sound. Yep. Oh, classic. Oh, jet turbines. Yeah, see, this is what I was thinking of. I remember that there was an instance where you have to fly after one of the wizards in the lava tunnel. This shitty little fighter plane. Meanwhile, we're still a dragon. Oh, I just got baited, didn't I? It's okay, that seems to have helped, actually. We almost got roasted. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I ruined it. Classic. Classic fumbles. Alright, we're not even halfway done with the treasure so far. Wow. I'm surprised. So where was the other? It was across the way, wasn't it? Headbutt the door. Huh. That's an interesting, just leave the 110 jewel there. That lets us get higher though, right? So we can go past this thing. Ah, yes. I remember that from the very, very old... The very old OS that the original Apple Macintosh has had. And there we go. That is everything from Nasty's loot. All 2,000 treasure. And no dragons. Hey, check out Spyro's sunglasses. They're back.
You defeated Gnasty Ganor, collected the dragon eggs, saved all the dragons, and recovered every bit of treasure in the Dragon Kingdom. How do you feel?
I feel
Yeah, I saw the posters. Those are pretty great.
I'm happy for the dragon world, of course. I certainly wouldn't want to spend the rest of my dragon days butting heads with Nasty Nork and his weird minions.
What's a minion?
What about his normal minions? Wait.
Never mind. You know what they say. For every good battle, you need a good adversary. And I felt that Nasty, in spite of his misguided nature, was a worthy opponent. Uh-oh. Here we go again.
And somebody should really, like, stop handing out those dragon crystallizing things. Well, there it is. 100% asterisk, I suppose, of the content of Spyro the Dragon. We didn't get the skill points, but those were not in the PS1 original, so, I mean, it's okay. I think we're allowed to leave those off. We got all the treasure, we saved all the dragons, we got all the dragon eggs, which is great, because otherwise that would have tormented me quite severely. Now let's just take a look at all of our numbers here. And you can see, that's right, we've done it. Wow, you've done it!